off. But hello, my friends. So excited to be here with you. Man, this is a day that I have been looking forward to for so long. As you know, last fall, God kind of pulled me away from coaching. I had a hard time with that, but He has been so beautiful, as always, during this time. And I'm just so excited to share a little bit about what He has been showing me and imparting to me. And we are going to dive right in. So, something it's funny. My best friend Donna Cole is on this call with us. And something that I mentioned to her, I think it was last week, is I told her I feel like I'm in my feisty era because, man, I have been someone who for so long, I just feel like I played small. I thought small. I didn't believe that there was more out there. And now that I have experienced it, and it has been in a journey, we'll just say that. But I'm so excited to share what I have learned because you guys, our God is so good and He has more than we could ask or think or imagine. And so I'm just super excited that you are here and that we will have some time together. I'm not going to be able to look at the chat during this, but if you have questions, just know that I will stay on until every single question is answered. And so please comment though. I love going back and reading everything. And we are going to dive in to the Stop Playing Small training. This is the Christian Women's Blueprint for building a coaching business that honors God. All right, now before we start, I just want to let you know that if you could just take this time, I do believe that your future self is really going to thank you. Take notes. Get a pen, or you can do it on your computer, something to write with. We actually are doing a couple different coaching exercises. And so just silence the distractions. Tell your kids that they can hold on until you're done because I just want to know you to know that I have packed everything I can into this very short amount of time. So, I am curious, first of all, and I'd love to hear from you. Where are you in your journey? Are you completely new to business? Are you still in the dreaming stages? Do you know that God has called you to something, but you don't really know what's next? Are you currently in a program with master resale rights? Or maybe you're thinking of starting your own community, a Facebook group, a school group. Maybe you have always wanted to coach. You've done certifications and you're in the whole readying phase. I would love to know exactly where you're at. So just drop a note in the chat about what journey you are currently on. And I just want you to know that you are in the right place if you want to start or scale your own online business. Will sometimes use the word coaching. And I do believe that if you are here, if you have a heart to love and encourage others, that you're a coach. You may not call it that, and that's okay. But I just want you to know that you are absolutely in the right place. If you want to start or scale a ministry, if you want to start or scale a digital marketing or a coaching business. So, like I said before, you are coaching if you're doing any of this work, if you are encouraging other women, if you are helping people see financial possibilities, you are probably coaching on abundance mindsets. And if you are sharing your story online, content, social media, emails, that type of thing, you are mostly coaching them through a transformation that you are in the works of going through. If you're guiding them towards resources, even, you are coaching them towards solutions. So, again, you may not call it coaching, you may not identify with that word, but that's what you're doing. So, if we haven't met yet, I just want to share a little bit about my story because this is wild. This is an only God story. I just want to give all glory to Him. But this is my sweet little house here in St. Paul, Minnesota. This started more than a decade ago. I had actually developed cancer. My ex-husband didn't think our marriage was very much fun at that point, and he literally walked away one day. I came home from running errands. He was sitting there on those front steps saying, I'm out of here. This is not fun. And I tell you, the rug was swept out from under my feet. I was not prepared for any of this. I mean, I definitely agree. Having cancer is not fun, and I was probably not an amazing wife during that point. But I was not prepared for any of this. And so, as much as I wanted to save this sweet little house, I was working full time. That wasn't enough. I got a second job. That still wasn't enough. I got a third job, and that still wasn't enough. This is how bad it got. Some of those mornings, I was leaving the house to get to work on time and leaving my 9-year-old to get the other two on the bus. Like that is awful. I do not want another single woman to ever have to go through the stress and the struggle that I have. And so, our house, it did go into foreclosure. And by 2015, I walked out the back door to this little house one day at 7 a.m. I needed to let the dog out, and there he was. It was the sheriff. He was sitting there. You probably don't know anything about this process, but they actually have to hand you the papers. He hands me the papers and says, Ma'am, we are going to auction off your house at the county courthouse. And I was like, oh, here we go again. This was actually the seventh time that this had happened to me. Up until then, I was trying to protect my kids. I didn't let them know anything was going on. But this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And I was like, oh, all right. So I sat my kids down for our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that night. I remember this so vividly. I told them, guys, we are cutting out all of your activities. I have to start saving money. And this was heartbreaking because they didn't say a word, but I saw the fear in their eyes and they nodded their heads. And I could barely hold it together. I ran to the bathroom as fast as I could because I was bawling already. And I knew that I was failing them as their mom, and that was heartbreaking. And at some point, my sweetest little daughter, Amelie, she came and she knocked on the bathroom door. I opened it up and she was standing there with her cheetah print suitcase. She unzipped it and she said, Mom, we're gonna be okay. I have lots of things for us to sell for money. And she had run upstairs as quick as she could. She packed all her treasures, her books, Barbies, seashells into her suitcase, and she was completely prepared to save our family. Now, as sweet as this is, that was heartbreaking. And I was like, oh no, this is not how my story ends. And that was the night that I submitted everything to God. I was like, Lord, I give up. This is so clearly not working. I give you my house, my children, all the businesses that I had been trying. I give you everything. Please just help me. And it was the line in the sand. And I also, that evening, I knew I was probably the biggest problem. I had been just obviously through a lot of heartbreak, felt like a wounded, broken person. But I started reaching out to him. And Matthew 6:33 says, when we seek him first, everything else falls into place. Not me control more, not me work harder, not me get a third or a fourth job, but I am giving him everything and I am seeking him first. So I had been trying a lot of different things. I had been doing Etsy and drop shipping and network marketing and coaching and literally you name it, I probably did it. And I probably failed pretty spectacularly through that all. And in the bottom or in the back of my head, what I kept renewing my mind with. I'm a total failure. I cannot even tell you how many times I probably said this over and over and over again. But God is so good and He's so gracious and He uses everything. Nothing's wasted, and we serve a God of redemption and restoration. So I happened to join my friend on a Christian TV show. She just asked me, would you like to co-host this with me? I'm like, okay, that sounds amazing. And there was this fiery prophet. His name was Moses Rankin from the UK. I had never heard of him before. And he delivered a word to me that broke me open. He said that God had prepared me through hardship to be a wealth transfer agent, to train and to raise God's people to step into systems of wealth generation, to package them for influence, and to bring wealth back to the kingdom. He spoke of innovation and acceleration through me as I bawled my eyes out live on TV. And for the first time, I started to wonder if my struggles weren't punishment, but preparation. And what happened next truly shocked me. I started a coaching program that taught online marketing. And these are the numbers. It still feels so surreal to say this. I was shocked. And here's what I learned. It wasn't actually all about the program that I was promoting. It was finally understanding how to package who God created me to be with the gifts, aligning my message with my calling, and marketing with authenticity instead of desperation. So, what I discovered during all these seasons is something so powerful that number one, when you submit everything to the Lord, He is so good. He has amazing plans and purposes for us. And when you have a clear, God aligned offer that's packaged well, that's marketed with integrity, when you are selling with a heart to connect, that's when the results can be life changing and fast. And it also opened my eyes to a truth that I couldn't unsee. I speak with amazing Christian women every single day who have beautiful and unique God given gifts and talents and stories that are worth sharing. But most of the time, it's not relayed or positioned or packaged in a way that makes it an irresistible yes. So, since that breakthrough, we have become debt free except for our house. I was able to buy my husband his dream boat. This was us on Sunday. We had a little picnic out on the lake. We're finally able to support missionaries. I went on a 17-day mission trip to Bali and I finished my second year of ministry school. All of these dreams have been near and dear to my heart and for so long, but I never really had the funds to do them. And more importantly, I now get to help faith driven women flip their stories like I did, but without the 9 years of trial and error and exhaustion and crying. So let's get into this. These are the 7 powerful steps for online business success. How I was able to go from foreclosure and fears to and so many failures to 6-figure success. Number one, when you want to have an online business, you have to clarify, you have to have clarity in your God given calling. Sometimes we call this a marketplace ministry, coaching, digital marketing. It doesn't matter. You have to know that you are called to this. Number two, you have to have a lot of clarity on your dream client, knowing them inside and out, their goals, their fears, what keeps them up at night. Number three is designing an amazing, profitable offer. Or if you're already selling an offer, you get to come up with a simple bonus offer that sets you apart from a lot of other people who maybe are selling the same thing. Number four is building a strong brand that is you. This is not about copying someone or, oh, I saw she posted this. Maybe I should post the same thing. This is embracing the uniqueness of who God made you and you are going to be. Because I know that there are people who are praying right now for what you have. And number five is doing marketing in a really authentic way. I feel like so many of us, we can follow formulas all day long for a certain amount of time. I thought at one point, oh, in order to be successful, I need to be on TikTok. Okay, well, let me try that. Well, actually, that did not really go all that well with the personality that God has given me. So that's where you have to market from a place of your strengths. You have to know who you are, how you can connect, and just knowing that it's about relationships. I feel like that's one of the strongest things is if you are a person that loves well, that you are in conversations, you're going to do really, really well at business. And then just serving and growing with integrity. And number seven, this is probably the biggest one here, is renewing your mind for kingdom success. Now, when I was in all those 31 different businesses that never worked out, I thought I was always missing some super secret strategy that nobody was telling me. That's why I kept buying program after program. Oh, well, I haven't tried challenges. Maybe that's the secret. Okay. Then I tried doing a challenge. Well, it was okay. But then I haven't tried enter the latest and greatest thing. I kept buying thing after thing after thing. But I'm here to tell you that renewing your mind, knowing your identity as a daughter of the King in who he created you to be, you have to first get the internal transformation before you get the external transformation. So that is one of the biggest things that I love to help and encourage people with. If you're not in my school, Mindset and Marketing with God, would love to invite you in. That is pretty well what I focus on a lot over there, but we're going to dive a little bit more deeply into every single one of these. So, number one, you have to clarify your God given calling. Now, obviously, we have more than one calling. If you're a coach, your calling is not just to be a coach. But for our focus today, I want you to kind of have this unique perspective that we if you're here, I'm guessing you have a marketplace ministry and it's an assignment that only you can fulfill. And I really don't believe that if you're here that you are here by accident. And if you are either new to business, maybe you're promoting a master resale rights program that hasn't gone exactly well, or you're called to something that is uniquely yours, that stirring on your heart is not random. This gave me a lot of freedom, and I hope it does to you as well. But the word desire, it is a Latin word, and the D means of the, and sire is father. I believe that our deepest desires to serve others, to build something meaningful and create kingdom impact, they're not selfish like I used to thought. Oh, I just want to coach because I wanted to get out of my full-time job. I kind of thought that was a selfish desire. But literally, when I dug deep, it was, I feel like this is who God is calling me to. And so I hope that that just brings you a little bit more freedom. And then I also want to address something really important. The I'm not ready, or I still need to get this certification, or maybe when the kids get older, this is literally a universal struggle. I said all these things too. I don't have the right certifications, or maybe I'm just promoting someone else's program. I don't have enough experience. But when we look at some of the people in the Bible, like Moses, he was arguing with God too, where he was like, I am slow of speech. And God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. As long as you keep your eyes on him, you keep your eyes fixed on him, you leave a gap so that you're not doing all of this in your own strength. And that is a beautiful thing. Because Gideon, Do you remember his story? I love his story. I really identify with his story. He was arguing with God, saying, I am the least. And he thought that while he was hiding out in the wine presses, God called him a mighty man. And so God is just saying, go in the strength that you have. I will give you what you need. And there is an intersection of your natural gifts. If you can picture like a Venn diagram where it's your natural abilities that feel really easy to you, and then your passions are up on the top, and your experiences are the third circle, and there's that little piece right in the middle. This is where your calling is revealed. Your experiences, bringing everything to the table. I believe that this is the sweet spot. This also helps you figure out who your niche is. So, quick exercise. We're not going to take too much time with this. You can maybe take a little screenshot. But what is something that people consistently thank you for? This is who God created you to be. And what is one group or a problem that stirs your heart? For me, it is helping rescue and bring healing to women, girls, boys that have been in trafficking. This is something that breaks my heart and part of what I'm able to give to with the above and beyond that He's given me. And then, is there a difficult season that you have walked through? You do not have to have arrived. Maybe you're still in process. You really only need to be one or two steps ahead of those that you are called to help. And don't overthink this. Write it down and then come back to this afterwards and let God speak to you. I want you to get super, super clear on yes, I am called. This is who he's calling me to. And I do believe that this is an uncovering. It's not that you need to discover it, it's you need to uncover your unique assignment. So, the desire for more, the desire to help, this desire often signals a divine assignment. Clarity is way more important than credentials when you're a coach. I have literally never had a single person ask me what kind of coaching certifications I have. I have had people ask me, what are your beliefs about God? Tell me about your faith. What has your experience like that been? Just know that that kind of clarity is going to do so much more than any kind of credentials. And obedience comes before evidence. I never felt ready to coach when I was getting going. But when I uncovered that I felt like this is who God to be, I do not want to be disobedient. You just have to keep taking that one next right step. And your experiences that you have gone through, again, I believe nothing is wasted, and they were training grounds for what He's preparing you for now. So, number two, this is fun. This is where we identify who your dream client is, getting laser focused so your message becomes magnetic. And I struggled with this for so long that I just want to help you guys get super, super clear because I'm sure when a person tells me, oh, yeah, I can help everyone, I probably believe that. However, just thinking back in my own experiences, let's just use when I had cancer, I had thyroid cancer. I was I got two different referrals. One was to a general oncologist, and one was to a thyroid doctor, an endocrinologist who specialized in thyroid cancer. And so, yes, they probably both could help me, but do you know how much more confidence I had in the person who specialized in what I was going through? And so here's just an example of maybe something more generic. I help women who want financial freedom. Okay, I kind of understand what you do there. However, look at how different it is when you're much more specific. I help single moms who are tired of living paycheck to paycheck, who want to build something that their kids can be proud of. Do you feel that difference? Which one? I already know the answer, but which one draws you in? I know it's this specific mom that has this one who is tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Like that speaks to our pains. When we can get inside of our client's head, when we can understand their wants, their needs, their goals, when we can articulate what they are, keeping them up at night, what they want. There's just a psychology of that saying, oh, yeah, she knows me. And then that naturally leads to the credibility, the authority, and us becoming the solution. So, I have a really beautiful way that we can do this with the Holy Spirit. Number one, whoever he tells you to work with is going to be perfect. But then there's just this practical observation side. Who is responding to the content that you're putting out there? Just notice the patterns in engagement. And another thing is you want to use their words, not industry jargon or especially copying and pasting from ChatGPT. Your ideal client is already in your world. I really do believe that. So, for example, I feel like there's a lot of people that come to me and they're like, Kari, I want to do identity coaching. So people know who they are in Christ, and that's the foundation. And I'm like, that's amazing. We know that people need to have coaching and to have that foundation of who God made them to be. However, we want to also make sure that that's what our people are saying. A person wouldn't need to change identity coaching, but when your person wakes up in the middle of the night, do they just say, oh, all my problems would be solved if I just had an identity coach? Probably not. Even though you and I, as the coaches, as the experts, we know that's what they want. That's where we have to understand what are they saying. We have to speak their language. We have to do the target market research. And that will let you connect on a whole different level with your clients. All right, so here's a quick exercise for this. If you think about posts that you have been doing, who engages the most? Is there a specific age or life season that they're sharing? What language are they using? Instead of, I just need identity, are they saying, I need someone to help walk with me right now because my relationships with my husband, with my kids are terrible and I don't know how to make this better and I hate coming home. Like you need to be using their specific language. So this is just kind of awareness. Start paying attention to these patterns. So, specificity unlocks deep connection. We want to be using their words. And then Holy Spirit led clarity, who He is calling you to, when we ask Him, when He shows you, oh my goodness, that just gives you such beautiful confidence so that you are not constantly changing directions. And just know that I'm a pretty optimistic person, but people buy more when we're talking about pain points and how we can help them solve problems. That's literally all we're doing is we're just in the business of helping people solve problems. Those pain points are entry points for transformation. Okay, so number three, you do have to have an amazing offer. Now, I know there are a lot of you in here who are partnering with a master resale rights program. You do get a pass for a little bit of step three because you already have a proven program that converts. However, for the person who is selling one of these types of programs, I really want to encourage you to create a simple bonus that is going to help you stand out from a sea of mass marketers that are selling the exact same thing. And if you are starting fresh, I want to teach you how to package your gifts into a profitable framework. Okay, so quickly going through the master resale rights partners. There's thousands of people selling the same program, which makes you a little bit invisible at some times. We want to take what your specific ideal client is dealing with. When you think of all the objections that they have, and then you create bonuses to kind of overcome those, not in a sleazy, salesy way, but if a person was like, yeah, I'd love to do your program, but I really don't have enough time, you can say, yes, I actually created this system that is going to help you figure out how to do this in 10 hours a week or less. You just want to create things, have them ready so that you can be one step ahead of them. And it's those type of bonuses are going to help you stand out and set you apart from 55,000 people who are selling the same thing. This can be a tiebreaker that makes you irresistible, and you're not competing on price or anything like that. You're just really competing on value and connection. Now, this is just an idea. Let's say your niche is overwhelmed moms. You could create something like this, an easy, simple bonus, the Busy Mom's Guide to Finding 2 hours a day for your dreams. Maybe if your niche is people who have been in a lot of different businesses, but they've failed. I would suggest creating a bonus on overcoming the fear of failing again, a faith based approach. You want to address their fears and concerns as they buy into your main program. What I skipped when I was getting into my very own coaching, I launched two completely written, completely filmed programs that I thought people would love. And it was what I loved. I worked with a really big name Christian coach. I put a lot of money into Facebook ads to get 250 women into my challenge. And at the end of the launch, not one single person signed up. The lesson that I want to pass on here is you want to validate before you start creating. You want to do the market research. You want to know that this is something that people need and want, and most importantly, will pay for. That they're the pain on the pain level. Let's just say if you had to rate this pain on a scale of 1 to 10, that is a more urgent pain. If it's a 1 or a 2 that, your program is, oh yeah, that'd be nice to have, but it doesn't solve a problem, it doesn't help get them out of their pain, it's not going to go so well. And I say this from experience. So, the truths that we need to remember here, your unique perspectives, who God created you to be, is your competitive advantage. Don't abandon any proven programs. I want you to enhance them if things aren't going the way that you want them to. Strategic bonuses will give new life. And validation before creation saves a lot of time and energy and tears. You want to build it out after they buy. This is for a brand new program. Okay, step 4 is building a strong you-based brand. You're the brand. You really are the brand, no matter what you are selling. You want to create consistency that reflects your personality. And your brand is this is the visual information, this is the verbal information of your unique approach, and it's so much more than just colors and fonts. I think sometimes, or at least I initially thought, oh yeah, branding is just colors and fonts, but my goodness, it is so much more. There's actually I have a quiz that tells you the brand personality type. It helps you to make consistent decisions about your voice, around the visuals that you are going to use. And it also removes that, what should I post today? That's exhausting because it gives you an outline. This is who you are. This is what you need to be saying. This is how you want to convey your message. This is the tone and the personality that you really need to be going after. And you want someone that could see your post and without knowing who wrote it, they could say, yep, that's Kari, or yep, that's Donna. And so with these, your personality, you need to bring all of you. I know we all have quirks and sometimes we're not super proud of some of the different aspects of our lives. But I really do believe that this is, again, a place where we can redeem and restore so much of what we have been through because your personality is the biggest thing that will set you apart. That is your brand differentiator. And authenticity attracts the right people and it also repels the wrong one. Sometimes, if you're too vanilla and you're too worried about repelling or offending everyone, you're not going to connect with anyone. I did this initially when I wasn't speaking to a Christian audience. I was having to filter everything I would say, and that is just no fun. So, I am really encouraging you to be you, to lean into exactly who God created you to be, and to just embrace it. So, consistency also is what is going to build recognition and trust. And again, confusion repels, but clarity attracts. You want to be like that daily cup of coffee for your clients that you serve so that they look forward to seeing you. They know what to expect and they know the tone of your messages and they look for what you're going to say today. Step 5 is understanding that connections equal currency. Knowing that marketing, that word, I didn't really like that word, honestly, until I really reframed it. Marketing is connection. This is my ministry. This is not about manipulation. You are simply making invitations and you're sharing your heart in a way that helps others, serving them first. I know you have read those weird sales posts that just feel icky. Nobody likes them. I can't believe that anyone would even like to create them. But when you're able to just be you by helping, serving, bringing value, and knowing that this is your ministry, it is literally like a breath of fresh air. So, this is a content framework that I just do rinse and repeat. It's the AHI content framework is awareness. They need to have awareness. Who are you? What do you talk about? What kind of hope are you able to bring them? That's the next one. But then you also have to have authority. And sometimes, especially in a program that's maybe not your own, this is a little bit trickier. So you have to know, how do I stand out? How can I have authority in this market? And then just know that it's an invitation. This is literally a 4-part cycle that moves your audience from a stranger, cold, into, okay, I'm open. What's this lady talking about? Into a believer and into a buyer. So let's just go through these really quickly. Number 1 is awareness. You help them see through the struggle. So you help them name what they're experiencing. And this is me. When I am talking about tone, I am not saying this is who you need to be. I am just sharing that this is part of my brand. And so the example that I'm using is I am empathetic. I am relatable. I am an I see you type of girl. I have probably been through almost everything that a lot of you have struggled with. So you're doing, these are some examples. You want to be relatable. Ever feel like no matter how many hours you work, that your money isn't enough? These are things that I've said. You do want to share your story, where you were stuck and maybe overwhelmed, where you were starting from, and then symptoms. So it's more like, hey, if you're feeling XYZ, it's not just you. You want to let them know that they're not alone. And then you want to give them hope, give them a way forward. You want to show that there's possibilities. Again, this is my tone. I want to be inspiring and faith filled and have them believing bigger, knowing that God has more than sometimes we often get lost in our own perspectives. For me, this is scripture based encouragement. These are success stories. This is a statement like freedom is possible in 14 to 20 hours a week. So this is showing them the transformation. I used to believe, but then I discovered, and I'm not saying use that specific, I'm just saying in general, we want them to know that, yeah, I was there too. I used to think that I would never get beyond paycheck to paycheck. And then share your story. And number three, you have to establish credibility. So you want to position themselves as a mentor, as a coach, as an encouraging role in their life. Being confident and warm. This again is me. I know the way. This is where you are sharing as vulnerably. I really encourage you to be vulnerable. It was not fun the first time I shared that I had actually failed at 31 business attempts. I remember literally like breaking out in hives saying that in front of a Zoom room. But you guys, we all have failures. We want to just be relatable. You want to celebrate wins and you do want to teach on quick tips or frameworks. So, something to the example of like, here's what I learned the hard way. And then number four, this is just an invitation. I actually had a previous client. She's like, well, how do you close clients? And she asked me this one day, and I was like, I don't. This is offering an invitation. This is extending a hand with no pressure, and I divorce myself from the outcome. This is a, hey, come walk with me. I want to be gentle. I want to be clear. I want to be empowering. I want to make sure that they have all their questions answered. And just know maybe this is for you, maybe this isn't. I will encourage them to go pray with God and then get back to me. So you're not overcoming objections. You're not strong arming them into anything. You're just offering a solution to their painful problems. So this could be just, hey, come join my community, maybe sharing a freebie that you have. Or if you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, message me and let's just have a quick chat. So I would use one awareness, one hope, one authority, and one invitation a week. And then just repeat it. This works for social media and for emails. Obviously, I don't send, sometimes I do. It just depends on the amount of emails you send. But let's just say you're committed to doing one email a week. I would just rotate through these four different things here. And this is going to help you so that you never are stuck creating content. So when you're marketing, I want you to remember that relationships are so much more important than reach and numbers and followers. That if you have a goal and a heart to serve first and sell second, I just naturally know that the sales are going to come. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Your story is also the greatest marketing tool that we have. Okay, how you guys doing? We're getting through this. Step 6, serve and grow with integrity. You need sustainable systems that honor number one, you and the current season of life you're in, but then also your family and the values that you have so you do not burn out. So, what I always recommend is just start out in one place. This can either be one platform. Maybe let's just say you're on TikTok. You want to go live every as many days as you can at the same time so that people get to know you. They look forward to seeing you. Maybe you just let them know that I just have an email list and you don't really have to be on social media. Now, you do need a way to get them onto your email list, and we can talk about that later. But let's just say your list knows, hey, Anne emails me every Monday and Thursday, and they begin to look forward to that. They know what to expect. Or maybe you have a school group or a Facebook group, and that is where you're doing the nurturing. You do need a place to bring people together, to have community, to nurture and build those relationships. And again, it's about showing up and serving well. So you do not need complex systems. This, if I had to start all over again, this is what I would do. I do have a Facebook group. There's like 3,400 people in there. The algorithm in Facebook right now, at least for my group personally, nobody sees it. I would start with a $9 a month school group. And if you need help with your school group, anyone that signs up with my link, I actually do free coaching. I would do a free email service, system.io. I am not a techie person. I love this platform. If I can figure it out, anyone can figure it out. And then just focus on consistency and connections with free social media and not complicated system. Because know that if you have this crazy complex system and formulas, and for me, it was needing to feel like I needed to post 3 times a day on TikTok, you're going to burn out. You need to know yourself well enough to be like, okay, this is who God created me to be. I personally am an introvert and I like calm marketing and connection and relationships and conversations. That's how I can connect. And maybe you want to do more, but I would say start small and build your muscle because simple and consistent beats complex every single time. All right. So choosing your platform. What is the primary platform where you are going to show up consistently? And then just post. If it's social media, I would start 2 to 3 times a week. You do need a connection method. So this can be a private group or email. And then I would just set the precedence that, yep, I respond within 24 hours, business hours. If someone responds to me on a Saturday morning, I will get back to them on Monday, most likely, but just let them know what to expect. And also, you being responsive is just going to show them, hey, I'm here. I hear you. I see you. You are important to me. I'm going to get back to you as quickly as I can. So, relationships are literally the foundation of a sustainable business. Consistency beats complexity every single time. Reputation is built one interaction at a time. And whatever method you choose, I really recommend that your growth should feel sustainable and not overwhelming. This is where our heart meets strategy. Okay, last step, guys, renewing your mind for kingdom success. The most important step. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Success is 80. If it were up to me, I would say 90, 95% of it starts in the mind. Without addressing lies that you have, again, most of the time, these are just loops that are running in our subconscious from when we were little girls. Stories that we tried to make sense of because an adult didn't explain it to us about ourselves, around our worthiness, around our calling. You can have all the world's best strategy, the world's best offers, and you still may not be able to have a successful business because of your mindset. This is the enemy's number one strategy. He's literally trying to keep us playing small by whispering these lies. So, 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ. This is not just a Bible verse, it's literally our battle strategy. And I wish it was just a simple sentence like this, and then you're like, oh, is that all I have to do? Okay, cool, Kari, I'll do that. There is a lot that goes on in just this one simple sentence. Take captive every thought. But there are ways to address this. Again, be in the word, seek him out. But then there's also strategy, and there's things, that I have learned to overcome these lies. Now, here is one thing that I want you to address and just think about. These are the things, again, most of the time they're lies, but this is specific to you. Grab your pen, really quickly jot this down. Finish this sentence. I would love to make fill in the blank in 2025. What is your big money goal? And then underneath that, I'm only going to give you a couple seconds here, but what are the buts? Why do you feel like that is hard? If I had to come to you and say, okay, Kimberly, what's your goal? And you told me $100,000 in 2025. And then I would say, okay, why can't you do that? What is every single thing that you would write down to tell me why you think you can't do that? But I don't know how, or but it's going to be really hard. But, fill in every single thing that comes to mind. That is the start of identifying the lies. Now, what do you do with that? You can begin to understand, where did this belief come from? Sometimes it's easy to identify. Seek the Lord, ask Holy Spirit. And sometimes it's nice to have like a partner to do this with that's uncovering where this actually came from. Did maybe your parent or your basketball coach when you were in sixth grade tell you something? But what would be different if you didn't actually believe this? Because you want to be lining up everything you believe with what God's word says about this. If Jesus were standing in front of you, would he agree with you saying, yep, that's true? Or would he give you a different perspective? So, this is literally like a 0.005 beginning of what taking our thoughts captive looks like and replacing those lies with truth. But when your mind is renewed, instead of saying, well, who am I to do this? You begin to ask yourself, who am I not to? Instead of seeing competition, you just see, way to go, lady. There is proof right there that this can work. You're cheering each other on and you're not seeing each other as competition. Maybe you have guilt around charging, but when you are able to flip this, you understand that stewardship is for kingdom impact. So here's some truths around this seventh step. Your thoughts determine your actions, and your actions determine your results. Do not partner with the enemy's lies. If you don't know what they are, get help. Reach out to me. You can do financials. There's literally so much that you can do. Do not stay stuck. This is what the enemy wants, and we all should be in our feisty area. No, era. We are not dealing with that. And what you believe is actually way more important than what you do in order to have business success. Renewed thinking is the foundation of kingdom success, because inner transformation, that's where it starts. Here we have the complete framework. When you have a clear calling, you have confidence and not confusion. When you know your client, you're able to have magnetic messaging versus just very generic, vanilla, bland messaging. When you have a clear offer or a bonus, you get to make confident invitations because you are eager. You are excited to help people solve problems. When you have an authentic brand, you know that that's attracting the right people. When you are doing connection marketing, it's about relationships and loving on people well. It's not about transactions. And when you have integrity systems, that's when you have sustainable growth that is honoring to you and your family. And lastly, a renewed mind that transforms you in literally every area of your life. Your family will notice, but then you're also able to step into faith versus fear and abundance versus scarcity. So, because I have been there, missing these, you will likely have some struggles. But when you get all of these together, it's going to be amazing. And so, if you are thinking, I don't fill in the blank, I don't have time, I don't have tech skills, I don't have experience, I don't have proof, I just want you to know that these are things that we can get around. You just need part-time hours to have a successful business. You can start with platforms that you know. You only need to be one step ahead of those that you're helping, and we validate before we put something out there. Again, these beliefs are super important. Progress over perfection, obedience over readiness, service over sales, consistency over intensity, and done is better than perfect. Here is the complete framework overview. Hopefully, you guys have had some good takeaways, but I also want you to know that just information without implementation is just entertainment. It's not going to get you where you need to go. So, that's where I have been able to take what I used to do as a business coach. I had a Prosperous Coach Blueprint. I loved it, super proud of it. My group coaching was 5,000. My one-on-one was 7,000. But I kept hearing, Kari, I really want to do this, but I cannot afford it. And I really do believe that every woman deserves access, and that's what I created, what I am sharing next. So, number one, if you want to move forward, you definitely can go and implement this. Use the exercises, start creating content, and build relationships. Or if you want a complete system with support, step by step guidance, a community of kingdom builders, and personal and prophetic insight, I am going to be sharing the new and improved Prosperous Coach Blueprint. This is the complete framework that I used when I was selling my $5,000 and $7,000 programs, but it's 10x with speed and automation using AI. We have a guest coach, Donna Cole, who is also joining for bi-monthly prophetic success calls. You get a full year of guidance and community and accessible pricing. So, if you haven't met Donna, I am just super excited. This is number one, she's just my bestie. And number two, from the minute I met her, I need to work with you. How does this happen? And I've worked with her extensively on my mindset, on just truths, on understanding God's word and how he speaks to me. And if you haven't had someone who has encouraged you with your calling, given you breakthrough and clarity or divine direction for your business, I just want you to know that this is what another part of what we're offering so you can stay aligned with God's plan for you. So, in the new and improved Prosperous Coach Blueprint, our first prophetic success call is next week. This is the first time that I'm launching it at this price point. After this initial round, I'm considering this a beta launch. Anyone who joins in would be a founding member, and you will get grandfathered into the pricing that will never change. This pricing is not actually going to last. And so for now, you have a couple different options. Number one, if you want to get in, if you want to have weekly calls with myself, every other month, prophetic success calls with Donna. If you want the education, videos, the templates, the scripts, the AI to literally skyrocket what God is calling you to do, I would love to have you inside the new Prosperous Coach Blueprint. So annually, you can get this for $9.97. This is less than $3 a day. So if you come in at this level, you actually do get a 1 hour call with me that you can use at any time. And again, I know that that's not for everybody. If you want to see what this would be like, I want to invite you in for $97 a month. Or you can do, if you pay for the year, you can actually get this for $67 a month with the Klarna option. So here's another thing. With this, I am actually giving you an extra stream of income. I am letting you, as a student, be an affiliate. You will get to share this with others and get 40% of what they come in at. So basically, that means that if you share it with two people, you're almost getting this program for free. It's kind of an earn as you learn model that you can help other women who need it. So you could actually get your program either for free, or you could start stacking up money and having this be an additional stream of income, all while I do the heavy lifting of creating the program, doing the modules, doing the IT stuff, and doing the live coaching every single week. If you're here, again, I do believe that you are coaching because you're encouraging women, you're helping people see financial abilities, and you're guiding them towards resources. So, the most successful students are recognizing that God gave them these assignments to steward. They're just willing to step into the calling that God's given them with Him, ready to stop second guessing themselves and want to coach more intentionally and profitably. It's really not about experience, it's just about this heart to serve. Okay, so I do have some capacity limits. And so I'm not even sure when I'm going to be shutting this down. I'm just saying, if you are at all interested, we're going to put the links in the chat so you can go check that out. It actually is hosted in school. And just know that it looks like it just says join at the $97 a month option. But when you're in there, you do have the option for the $9.97. Also, if you do the Klarna option, then I will get you into this program, but it is going to go up. I don't know. I'm just very Holy Spirit led in this. It will go up. I don't know when. I don't know how much. I do know that it won't be available at this price again. So remember that you get a 40% affiliate opportunity. We have two calls next week, the first one with me and the second one with Donna. And so if you have any questions, I am going to open this up. But again, I do not believe that you're here by accident. Oh, and here's just some fun little screenshots of past clients that I have worked with. I tried to put a bunch on the page. I'm just, yeah, pray about it, think about it, but don't let fear or procrastination steal what God has prepared for you. All right. Any questions? I'm going to open it up now. Maybe if you do have a question, just raise your little virtual hand at the bottom of the screen, and then we'll just take them. And then also, as I said, the gift for you guys being here, these are my 2024 biblical declarations. We're going to put those into the chat. It's just a Google Doc. I really believe that our words, how we speak, really start to lead us into the beliefs that we want, but also it creates our worlds. And so grab this Google Doc, and there's also a video at the end if you just want to listen. So if,
I've sent you some of the questions in your Voxer,
okay,
Kari, too. I've been following them in the comments.
thank you so
And
much.
so they're all in the one place.
That was very kind. Let me pull that up. Okie dokie. Whitney, how do you really share authority if you're just beginning and haven't been able to celebrate a financial win? Well, not all wins are financial. A lot of the time, you are able to say, oh my goodness, this is what I'm learning. This is what I have been able to personally overcome with what I am understanding and walking through. And it depends on what you're sharing, Whitney. I mean, obviously, if it is something that is a more money-based offer, you could share wins of someone else. Yes, that wouldn't be your authority, but it is showing social proof. And Wendy, I'm going to go to you since you have your question up, and then I'll get back to the questions that were in the chat.
Kari, I'm excited about your coaching program. So, can you explain again what's included for the coaching fee for that price?
Yep. So it's live coaching every single week with me is one. Then there's the 7 modules that we are going through. The clarity for your calling, knowing who your niche is, connecting. There is going to be a lot of that's self-paced video. So you watch that ahead of time, but then you come to the calls. We want to make sure, do you have your niche? What is your content looking like? What kind of numbers are you getting? Who's connecting? That type of thing. It's problem solving. It's going through and making sure that you feel really confident in everything that you're doing. And then there's templates, scripts, the prophetic calls with Donna every other month, sorry. And just the 24/7 school community as well. So if you have questions day or night, you put them in there and I will get back to you.
Okay. That's exciting. Can you now you also really scooted past, and I know you're just being humble, but you scooted past the past clients that have given you comments and things. Can you put that back up? I thought that was really good.
I will look for that. Yeah. All right. Here it is. Let me share my screen one more time. So yeah, I do believe that this program, this process is the same whether you are starting your own offer or you have an offer. We need to have all the same things in process. So, Willow, hello. Do you have a question?
Yeah. Could you give me any other more information about what the prophetic thing is?
I can. But even better is I'm going to let Donna speak to this. I did not grow up with prophetic. I grew up in a Lutheran church in a very small town, and it was very religious. It was very fear-based, and I thought that God only communicated to the pastor. What I have learned from Donna, I think just personally more than anything, is he wants to speak to all of us. And she helps facilitate that. And Donna, I'm going to let you take it over from there.
So, hi Willow, hi everyone. So, what the prophetic calls are about is that I sit and listen to the Lord, and the Lord gives me an encouragement for you. It might be giving you a strategy or a direction, but really, the prophetic is about letting you know how much Father God loves you and how interested he is in your life, and that he wants to partner with you with different things in your life. So it's really an encouragement from the Lord's heart. And as Kari said, I'm nothing special. I have the same Holy Spirit living in me that you do. It's just that that's the gifting that I walk in, is the prophetic. And so my heart is to give people the messages of God's heart for them. And it's the joy of my life to do that. So have you not been familiar with prophetic before, Willow?
No, but I'm somebody that believes God talks to me through other people. So,
Yeah. Oh,
because I
good.
never read the Bible. So I
Yeah,
hear it talk
and he speaks
I,
to you personally too in so many different ways. You just may not recognize it, and that's okay because you don't know what you don't know.
right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
awesome. And Susie, hello, good to see you.
Hi, long time no see.
Yeah.
Two questions. One is, how long is this offer available, or how long do you want us to respond to that? And secondly, so the thing you mentioned with the templates and all of that, that's the Klarna?
Well, no, anytime I'm doing a teaching, I have a workbook, I have scripts, I have templates. It depends on what we're learning. So, let's just say, like in module 2, I call it nail your niche with the Holy Spirit. We are actually doing a visualization with the Holy Spirit, and there is a workbook that goes along with every single thing. So there's workbooks for each module. And then there's also, if you need a template for anything, content creation. Oh my goodness, you guys, I have a content matrix spreadsheet that is just basically like you plug in your client's goals, pain points, and then it gives you both awareness and decision and consideration phase marketing prompts. And so it's just then you use AI to bring that all together to create the content that I was kind of telling you about to move them through the buyer's journey. So anytime you need anything, and I just want to make this as plug and play as humanly possible, as easy, because man, I have done things the hard way. And I've also taken like over $200,000 worth of coaching certifications, and I'm just bringing everything that I've actually ever been a part of that works into one place. Like, that's my heart. I'm like, can we just make this easy on everybody? And that's what I really want to do. So, if there's not something in place and you're like, hey, an example would be like, the last time when I was coaching, one of my students was like, hey, I would love a spreadsheet so I know every single module that I'm creating and every single thing that I'm creating for them. And so I just created it for them. It's
Oh,
just
wow.
if you see a need, I want to meet you and make it and have it available to you. So if you have questions and you want to see some of what I'm creating or what I already have in place, Susie, I'll message you about that too.
I know it'll be amazing if you made it up. That's good.
Awesome. Thank you. That's so sweet. Christine, how are you?
Hi, Carrie. How are you?
I'm so good. How about you?
I'm hanging in there. A lot of challenges lately.
Yeah.
My question is very similar to the gentleman's question. When you get a sign from God to say something or he's showing you direction, what does that happen? How does it happen? How you're being told is that direction. How do you hear it? What is the sign? I'm very curious to know.
Yeah. And that's a huge thing that I love to help and teach and encourage others too. Because you know what? 7 years ago, I wasn't mad, but like my husband heard the audible voice of God. And I thought that was the only way that a person could really hear from him.
Mhm.
And I was so frustrated because I was always trying to seek him. And I just want to hear from you.
Mhm.
And I would get really frustrated in the process because I'm like, he doesn't speak to me. I don't hear. I was just having a little conniption. And you know what? He's always speaking, first of all. He's our loving father. He wants to communicate. There is a wide variety of ways that he does. There's a couple main ways that he communicates. So for me, what I learned is that actually it's through like pictures. I see pictures. And that's just how my mind works. I'm a very visual person, so I didn't really think that was him. And, sometimes you just have a feeling or a knowing, the sense that you're like, yep, this is it. I'm doing this. And you just have that confidence. So there's not one and only one way to hear from him. However, there is a way that he loves to speak to you, and you can develop this. I have developed this over time. I have heard very specific things now when 5 years ago I would have said, oh, yeah, he doesn't talk to me that way. He talks to everybody else. Like I wanted to know specifics of things. And I'm like, yeah, I never get that stuff. But the more that you get to know him, as you seek him, as you're in the word, you get to know the tone, the texture, his characteristics. You know how if your mom were to call you on the phone and you would pick it up and you'd be like, "Oh, hey mom." She would just be like, "Hey Christine." But let's say I call you and you don't know me as well yet. You would,
Mhm.
"Hey, who is this?" The more you spend time with a person, the more you get to know them.
Mhm.
The point where you're like, "Yep, that was God," or that was the enemy, or maybe that was me. You start to have greater discernment the more you're in relationship. And you know what? Just your hunger for seeking him, he's like, yes, let's go, Christine. I've just been waiting to talk to you. He's so excited about that too. And so it just starts with that willing heart. And you can just be like, Lord, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I am confident that you are going to speak to me. And the scripture, the word says, my sheep know my voice.
Mhm.
And so enemies coming at us a lot of times, I know that you have heard his voice,
Yeah.
but the enemy's like, oh, was that really him? Is it just you? Is that a selfish want? So it's just about strengthening that connection, that relationship, and knowing that you do right now, you do hear from him, but it can get easier and stronger over time too.
Thank you for clarifying that. And again, I just want to say that I have felt the Lord actually even hug me, if that makes any sense.
Totally.
I've experienced mine usually comes through people, places, and things.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering when you do your posts and when you speak and stuff, I guess we all have a different connection of how the Lord speaks through us and shows us our direction.
Yeah.
And I'm just still trying to seek that direction more than ever. So again, thank you for clarifying your personal experience. And I do want to clarify too, I have had it, but everyone's is different. Thank you, Kari.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love that. Okay. And Dean, it's so good to see you. I don't think I've ever met you like face to face, just through email and
Hi, I no, no, you haven't. We have spoken a little bit of Teams and so on. So yeah, yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you for that mini course of yours of the mindset in school. Oh my word, it blew my mind. That has cracked a lot of things open for me. So my question basically is, I really felt to start a podcast because the Lord has been spoken for, I think it's 4 years now
Mhm.
about the body, mind, and soul and transformation to reconnect. So, yeah, after 4 years now, I basically started it. But my biggest thing is to generate the leads and the income.
Yeah.
because I've done a lot of stuff lately with the legacy builder as well and everything, but I don't see the income. I don't see money coming in. Well, I did have one sale on Thursday that I don't even know where the lady got my stuff from, my email from, because she's in the UK and I'm in South Africa. And I was like, where did this come from? But in any case, I know it's the Lord because I can feel the connection between me and her.
Mm.
So, so yeah, that is basically the thing that I'm actually struggling with is how to connect my podcasting with my coaching because I'm also a neuroscience coach,
Wow.
but I haven't really embraced that.
Mm-hmm.
I've studied for it, but it's just like, it's not like that moment you get that, oh, okay, I can use this. The podcasting, yeah, I basically want to pull everything together,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, I as much as I personally want formulas, I always am trying to get away from formulas because God works so uniquely through each of us and for each of us. So, what I am doing though, and you could think about this, is having that central hub, kind of like what I do now with my school, the Mindset and Marketing with God, where I do have a YouTube presence. I'm doing 2 YouTube a week, but it's being shown to my school community. You could have your podcast and the connections. That's where like the connections and the relationships are gonna, I think having that school or a Facebook group, although
Yeah.
I don't feel like anyone is set up well for success right now if I recommend that. If you are starting from scratch, I would recommend a school because you are going to be authority. If you are the owner there and with your background, oh my goodness, you are set up so well for success. You could have a little mini course. You could be putting your podcast episodes into the school community and then just having that be the central hub while also sending out emails in the background as well.
Yes, yeah, yeah, I definitely did. When I saw that $9, and I said, okay, this is for me. Because also in January this year, the Lord also told me, you're done, you're not gonna work anymore. And I was totally freaked out because I actually enjoyed my job. It was a 9 to 5, but I worked from home. I was in the tourism industry, so I loved it. And then he said,
Wow.
you're done. And then I'm not, and he just said, and I'm so glad that I was obedient, even though I was like totally stressed out,
Yeah.
because there have been so many doors open since I made that decision. So yeah, I'm actually starting from scratch. Financially, I'm like, you know what? You said I must go, so please just provide. And he has done that.
Yeah.
Other thing that I wanted to know, this offer of yours, how, well, obviously, other lady asked it as well of how long it's going to be because seriously, I just wish I could join, but financially, it's like, okay, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
you understand what I'm going to.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
can guarantee that it will be open through next Sunday. So that would be the 7th. And then I'm not sure. We'll see. The other thing to think about though, Nicolene, would be, do you have 1, 2, 3 people that you could invite to be part of it with you? Because again, even if you just do the monthly, if you get one person, that's going to almost cut it in half. If you get two, you're almost break even. If you get 3 people, you are actually making money. So
Yes.
that could be another, I just want to empower you. There's always a solution. There's always a solution. If this is what you want to do, then, and if it's what God wants you to do, just seek Him. How do I make this happen? Help me. Pray and just believe that it's going to happen.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
You must have a pleasant day further. It's now about 3:25 in the morning in South Africa.
Oh my goodness. Wow, God bless you for being here. What an honor.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
good to see you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Welcome. Bye-bye. Willow, do you have a
Harry,
question?
Harry, there's still a couple of questions in the Voxer.
You're good. We'll get
Trying to
back.
make sure we got to them.
And I'm not sure, Willow, do you have another question or is your hand just, oh, maybe it was just still up from before. Okay. So then, Kimberly, any suggestions on getting better engagement on your videos and lives? I ask question on my lives. I get very little to no response. Looking to get people to interact, would love people to comment on my videos more than emojis. So, yeah, this is about building that community, building the know, like, and trust. Are you pretty much still going live at the same time every day? I mean, I have not built my business through live, so I admit I am not the best person to ask for this. So I would say any of the other people who are actually doing really well, Tim, Victoria, those would be the people to ask because I haven't experienced this and I feel like I could give suggestions, but when I'm not the best person for that. So I'll just be super honest. All right, then Sonia says, what's the difference between the two packages? I'm sorry if Klarna confused people. That's just another way to pay. It's just a payment plan. So if you are wanting to come in at the annual package, it's $9.97, but you're like, oh, I don't want to pay for that all at once. If you use Klarna, that's a payment plan. It breaks it down. I believe it's maybe like $62 a month then, and then you're just paying Klarna. So you're totally in the program for the year. The way to come in for and let your payments be spread out a little bit more over time. And then Rose, what time will the live calls be? This is a good question. And because I do have that global audience, I am rotating between two different times. One time will be in the morning in the US, and one time will be in the evening. And we just go back and forth every other week. So I didn't want there to just be one time and be like, sorry, it's 3 a.m. for you. You're going to have to get up every Wednesday at 3 a.m. Like that would be awful. So we do rotate. I'm trying to take into account just generally where people are at all over the world. I think I got through the Voxer questions. Are there any other ones here in the chat that you guys have now, or if you just want to raise your hand and ask? Yeah, Susie.
So is this something, so it looks like you're recording it. So is this something that we can then share with friends who we think might be interested?
I guess I didn't even think of that. You sure can. Yeah. I'll be sending out the replay by email. So I hope, yeah, most of you are on my list. And then, yeah, this would be super easy. Forward it to some people, see if you can get yours paid for, and have some friends in on the fun with you while you're doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Annie. Wendy has to make her husband dinner. Aw. Bye. Good to see you. All right. Any final questions? Otherwise, thanks you guys for being here. I know that was an hour and a half, and I fire hosed you with a lot of information, but I am praying for each and every one of you. And I believe that, yeah, if this is something that you want to do, ask God. And if He says yes, but you're still having trouble figuring out how to logistically make that happen, just message me. So. Thank you, Donna, for being an awesome co-host and for helping me. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.